Hi guys, and welcome to MYO. Today we are making this epic hat. I hope you're as excited as I am. It's bucket hat season, so grab that crochet hook and I'm gonna show you how to make your own.
Okay, so to start, what you need is your crochet hook and the EKO Mini tube yarn. And first of all, you want to make a slip knot. And to do that, you take the end of the rope and you twist it around your finger, like this. You can take your crochet hook, go through, and grab the rope and pull, like that. Now we want to make a chain, and we want to make 3 chain stitches. And to do that, you just take your crochet hook and you go under the rope, you catch it, you can help out with your finger and pull through the loop that you created. That's 1. Now we're gonna make 2 more. Catch the rope, in and through, and again, in and through. Great. And what I want to do now is that I want to start with my single crochet stitches, because this is the top of the hat. So what we want to do is to put these 2 guys together and then knot around and around and around and around. So we need to firstly add these 2 ends together. And for the first row, as you can see in my schedule, we want to make 2 increasing stitches in every stitch. And we have 3 stitches in this chain. So in this first loop, we're gonna make 2 single crochet stitches, because that is an increased stitch. Then you make double the amount stitches. I'll show you. So put through your needle into the loop, catch your yarn, go through 1 loop, catch it again, go through. Then you do the same thing again in the same loop, go through, catch it again, and through. And now let's find the second loop, which is here. Go through once, like that, and again. And now for the last, you find it. You have to dig for it, but it's here. And then another one. Great. So now we made the first row. Good job, you guys. The second row should be made in the same way. You can see in the schedule, you should make increased stitch in every stitch. So 2 single crochet stitches in every stitch. Okay, so let's jump to the third row. And if you check the schedule, it should be one single crochet stitch and one increase stitch. So I have a tip for you. From now on, to be able to see where the row starts and ends, you should have something to mark it. You could use whatever. You can use a piece of yarn. I have this little hook that I put like that. So this helps me knowing where my row starts and ends. Okay, so row 3. Then I should start by doing one single crochet stitch. So in this hole I will only make one stitch. Like that. Okay, so now I don't need to make 2, because that I'm gonna do in the next stitch. We're doing this just because we want a great shape on the hat. So now I made 2. So first one single crochet stitch, now 2 increase. So 1 and 2. And let's make another single. And then it's time to make 2 in this one. And again, single. And increase. And again, single. And increase. And then I can move this to the outer row. Now make the last stitch, which is an increase stitch. So I make 2 single stitches. Like that. So now in the beginning, super nice if this is flat and not bulking around, because then you made too many increasing stitches. Or if you feel like it's super tight and you don't really nicely reach the next stitch, then you made too few increasing stitches. But if you follow my schedule, then it shouldn't happen. Okay, so let's go to the 4th row, which you will do 2 single crochet stitch and 1 increase stitch after each other. If you feel like you lost how many rows you made, it's quite easy to count. You just count from the middle and you can see row 1, 2, 3. So now I know it's time to make a fourth one. So let's begin by doing 2 single crochet stitches, so 1 in each, 1, and next one, and the third one should be an increasing one, so I'll make 2 in this hole. 1 and 2. Now I'll make 2 single, and 1 increase. Great, so we made the 4th row. Still flat and nice. I just have the last increasing stitch left on that row. There. I'll add this again. Cool. So now it's time for the 5th row. And on the 5th row we make 3 single crochet stitch and 1 increase. So start with a single. Okay, so now we made 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's start by making the 6th row. And if you check the schedule, you should do 4 single stitches and 1 increase stitch after that. I'm gonna add this to know when I'm done with my row. And I already begun with a single stitch. I'm just gonna continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now make an increasing stitch. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's start with the 7th row. Which should be 5 single crochet stitch and then 1 increase stitch. Okay, so now we made the 7th row, and let's move on to the 8th row. And to do that, we're gonna do 6 single crochet stitch and 1 increase. Okay, so done with that row as well. Just continue with row 9, which according to the schedule should have 7 stitches and 1 increase in stitches. Great job! Okay, so now I made 9 rows, and now it's time to measure your head so that you know how big you want it. And if you look at the page on YouTube, you see how you should measure. You should put your measurement tape around your head, just about above the ears, and then you'll see where you end up. Usually you're around 54 to 62 centimeters. And if you have a small head, about 54, maybe 18 centimeters, 9 rows will be enough for the next step. but my head is 56 centimeters, so I'm gonna make another row. So I'll make 10 rows and have about 19 centimeters. Okay, so I will go ahead and make another row, and then I check my schedule. So I need to make an extra row to be able to have 6 rows here. So I'll make 8 single crochet stitch and 1 increasing single stitch. Move this little fella. Okay, so 8. Okay, so now my top of the hat is ready, and it will be good for me that has a size 56. I can measure again to see, so that it's about 19 centimeters, which it is. So it will be a good size for me. So now we're gonna stop with the increasing and just do single stitching around and around and around until you get the height of the hat that you want before you add the brim. And that's up to you how deep of a hat you want. So if you feel like it gets too shallow or too deep, you can just add stitches. It's super simple. So now I don't need to count rows anymore. So I can remove this and I will just continue until I'm happy. You will notice that for now it's nice and flat, but when you stop increasing stitches, it will fold up by itself and make a tube form, like a hat. You'll notice. So let's go. You can see it's already starting to become like a bowl. You'll have that look more and more. I will later on turn it, because this will be the inside of the hat and this the outside. Okay, so now I made a couple of rows of just single stitches around and around. And to count, just to see, usually I like the edge to be about maybe 8 centimeters, but you can do whatever you feel like. But let's see how much I made now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I started around here to quit the increase and just keep on going with a single stitch to be able to get this shape. And that's about, yeah, 8 centimeters exact. So let's go to the next step, which is the brim. And to make the brim, what you want to do is, for the brim to kind of flip out, you want to make one row. We can mark it again. You want to make one row that you only crochet in the outer loop. You can see that this is 2 loops here that you always stitch through. Now I only want to go through the outer loop. And check the schedule. You want to make 4 single stitches and 1 increase for 1 row. So that's what I'm gonna do. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Only in the outer one. You'll notice that you'll get a kind of a edge here. Now make the increase. 1. And again in the same. Like that. Here we go. So that was the first row of the brim. You can already see that it's pointing out a little bit. It's pointing out easier because you only stitched the outer row. Okay, so the next row you are gonna make 6 stitches and then 1 increasing stitch. And now you won't do it in the outer loop anymore. You just go ahead as normal through both. So you go through the entire, not only the loop. So like that. 1, 2, 3, This brim that I'm making is quite straight in the look. If you want a more flowy, wobbly look of the brim, then you can just make some extra increasing stitches and try it out. You can just unravel if you don't like the look that you get. It's super easy to just redo. So don't be nervous to try to get the look that you want. But I want to make kind of a straight brim that doesn't wave like this. So, okay, how many did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a double. So 1, 2, 4, 6, and double. 1, 2, Okay, so that was my second row with the increasing stitch. And now I will just continue to make single stitch around and around and around until I get the length of the brim that I want. So it's up to you how long of a brim you want. But I will continue for a couple of extra rows and then this hat is ready to go. Okay, so now I made about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. I think I'm gonna make a 6th row, so I get a longer type brim. I think I actually have the length of the brim that I wanted. So for now, I'm actually gonna finish this off by just cutting the cord, and I'm gonna continue knotting, pull through the rope, and then make another pull through like that, pull. Now it's double knot. Now I can like just add it through the holes like this. And then cut. Great, good job. It's done.